Welcome back to the Tigers Den podcast, guys. Before we get started, you know what we got to do. Smash that thumbs up button and subscribe if you're brand new. And don't forget to ring that bell and join the Noti Squad. And while you're at it, go ahead, check out those links down in my description. Follow your boy on Twitter, IG, Facebook, at Big C Got Game. All right, so our boys are coming off a big win against Missouri. 62-24 was your final dominated performance from beginning to end by our Tigers. Chris King finished the game 26 of 35 for 398, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. We did pull him out in the fourth quarter. He picked apart this defense, man. That's what he's been doing all year, and he's been putting up incredible numbers. The interception, I can shake it off because it was just a deep ball, and he kind of just threw it up for grabs. But everything else he did this week was just great. On the ground, Joel Thomas had a big day. 17 carries, 149 yards, 4 touchdowns, and we finally got the run we were looking for. He broke a 57-yarder off to the house. He bounced off a defender and took it to the crib. He's going to win the Heisman this year. 4 touchdowns in the game. He's definitely going to win the Heisman. That's 2 Heismans for him. And I'm really thinking that he's going to be gone next year. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section, all right? Kevin Easley had a solid game, 8 carries, 54 yards, and 1 touchdown in garbage time. Out wide, Sean Edwards had a huge game, 10 catches, 180 yards, and a touchdown. He actually broke the season receiving yards record in this game. And then Rob Bradford had a big game too, 8 catches for 117 yards and a touchdown. And Rob broke the most career receptions record in this game. So our 2 big targets had big games. Jordan Paxson chipped in with 4 catches for 61 yards, and Antonio Walker had 3 catches for 38 yards. On defense, Jason West dominating. 13 tackles, 6 TFLs on the day. Stovall had 6 tackles. Forwarda had 5 tackles. Rayshawn Baker had an interesting game. He had 5 tackles. He had a pick 6 that he took back to the house, 80 yards. But he did get burnt for 2 touchdowns in this game. Now, he is our shutdown corner. I think one of them was my fault because I was controlling Collins over the top. And as soon as I stepped down, Brown took off running, and he got past Baker, and there was no safety help over the top. But it's okay. I was impressed by his 80-yard return for the touchdown. I'm not going to lie. He's not the fastest corner, but he was able to outrun everybody and get to the end zone. Causey and Ray and Charles Butler each had a sack in this game. So we dig deeper into the stats. It was just a dominating performance across the board. We gave up 162 yards on the ground. We have to kind of corral that in, man, especially this week when we play against Bama. In the air, we gave up 280. I mean, the CPU just, one minute they have like 60 yards passing, then all of a sudden they just flip a switch and they go for 300 yards just like nothing. We did shut them down on 3rd down. We gave up 1 4th down conversion. We held them to 1 touchdown, 1 field goal in the red zone. And we had over 700 yards of total offense. And I'm proud we had no penalties this week. Taking a look at the BCS rankings for this week, not much changing in the top 5. Grambling State still sitting at number 1. Oklahoma is in at 2. Navy in at 3. Oregon is 4. Baylor is 5. And then it was a bunch of 2, 3, and 1 loss teams. You have Texas A&M up 2 spots to 6. Michigan's up 4 spots to 7. Nebraska's up 2 spots to 8. Minnesota's up 3 spots to 9. And the big shock this week, the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana Lafayette up 4 spots to top 10, and they're undefeated. And we got to send a big shout out to Joel Thomas. He is the SEC Offensive Player of the Week after his 17-carry, 149-yard, 4 touchdown showing against Missouri this week. As I said before, Joel is the best running back in the country, and I will not be shocked if he is a first-round pick next year. So we jump ahead to recruiting, and we have some stars coming in this week. First up is D-tackle Martin Mills. We have the number 1 running back in the country, Eldon O'Connor. He'll be here this week. And tight end Matt Schroeder will be on campus as we take on Bama. And here's a look at our board. Pierre Jackson still has Grambling State as his number 1 team, but he has a visit to Texas this week. And Texas is having a down year, and they're playing the number 5 team in the country, Baylor. So hopefully Baylor takes care of business, and they don't allow Texas to run all over them. Like I said, Eld O'Connor will be here this week. He is all in on Grambling State. No other team is even close. My concern, though, is we get O'Connor, then Pierre Jackson decides he does not want to come here because we already have a star running back. So that's one of my concerns, but I'm hoping that Texas doesn't do anything and Baylor controls their running game and O'Connor decides to come and Jackson decides to come too. Does that make sense? Reggie Rivas, we're still in a fight for him, the big D tackle from Ruston. We're number 3 on his board right now, but this is one of those kind of fights that we're going to have to take into the offseason. D tackle Martin Mills. This was interesting. I had to use an unlock to get back into the top 2. He had locked us out. He is all in on Miami, but I still think with his visit coming this week, if we put up a great showing, get some pressure on the quarterback, get these sacks, he'll make his decision and he'll put Grambling State as his number 1 team. We're in a battle for Will Banks, the outside linebacker from Avondale, Louisiana. He's got great speed. He can tackle. He would make a great addition to this linebacking group. He could honestly see some playing time going into his freshman year. And then there's Matt Schroeder. He's the 6'1", 243 tight end from Wisconsin. We had just recently added him to the board. We're in a battle with Wisconsin for his service. He is a receiving tight end. He's got great catching, great spec catch, can catch in traffic, great route running, great release. Only thing that he does not have is size, but I still think he could come in and be a great 1-2 punch with the tight end that we already have coming in. All right, so make sure you guys stay up to date with everything Grambling and recruiting by following your boy on Facebook, Twitter, and IG at Big C Gat Game, and check out the IGTV of the Deep Dive recruiting class. Whoa, we actually took a step back. We are number 2 in the country now when it comes to recruiting class, which is interesting because we have more 3 stars, more 5 stars, more 3 stars. Okay, whatever. We're still going to have the number 1 recruiting class by the end of the season. Now it's time to get ready for Week 13 and the battle with Alabama. This is one of our big rivalry games over the past few years. They have kept us from winning a national championship, kept us from winning the SEC, and then we were able to dominate the past couple years. This year, this is not your normal Alabama team. They come in 6-4 on the season. They beat UCF. They beat USF, Florida, Mizzou. They lost to Ole Miss, beat BYU, and then went on a 2-game losing streak to SMU and Arkansas, coming back beating Tennessee and LSU, but then losing to Mississippi State. Bama is led by all-world quarterback Wesley Beck. He's thrown for 1,502 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. He's a big boy, 6'5", 246. He's got great speed and acceleration, and look at that throw power and accuracy. We got to make sure we keep this kid in the pocket this week. So expect Jason West to do a lot of spying this week. On the ground, sophomore Charles Bolin is the lead rusher with 1,248 yards and 10 touchdowns, but he is hurt this week. Beck is second on the team with 678 yards and 2 scores. But then, they've got a backup, Jeremy Hampton. He's not that great. He's not the usual back that Alabama has. He's got 474 yards and 2 scores. In fact, let's see how long Bolin is out for. 7 weeks. Wow. So their 2 top backs are out. You have Jake Kraft, who is a 93 overall with a broken wrist. He's out. Their right tackle, Ryan Williams, he's out for another 2 weeks. And then Bolin is out for 7 weeks. So we're catching Bama at a good time because they are hurting. Out wide, Chad Winston leads the team in catches with 55 for 653 and 12 scores. Then you have Derek Hayden. He's a senior. He's probably the speedster out the group. 29 grabs for 595 and 5 scores. And then Jermaine White, the slot receiver, 11 catches for 122 and 2 scores. So these stats tell me that they're a run-heavy team. But because their 2 top backs are out, I guarantee you that Beck is going to run the ball a lot more. Look for him to scramble out, try to pick up those yards that his running backs can't pick up. But they're going to look to get the ball to Winston because that's their playmaker. Now, this is where it gets scary. Bama has always had a great defense, and nothing has changed. Ryan Coleman is the best pass rusher on this team. He leads the team in tackles with 59, and also he leads the team in sacks with 5.5. Right outside linebacker, Pat Williams. He's a great coverage linebacker. He's second on the team with 4.5 sacks. Then you have the D lineman, Will Grant. He's 5'11", 262 with 2.5 sacks. And then big D tackle, David Moore. He's got 2.5 sacks as well. In the secondary, Paul Johnson leads the way with 2 interceptions. Safety Justin Chase is second on the team. He's a freshman. He's got an interception. Then you have a gang of other guys with interceptions. Ishmael Beard, Eric Summers, Pat Williams, the linebacker, and Derek Calhoun. So let's dig deeper into the Alabama roster. Man, this team is always stacked. So you have Beck at quarterback. Their 2 top running backs are out. So you have backup Jeremy Hampton. He's got great speed, terrible awareness, and 0 break tackle. So we should be able to wrap him up. Great fullback. Their wide receiver core is deep. They go, 5-6 deep at wide receiver. A solid tight end. Their offensive line, let's see, their left tackle is pretty solid. Left guard is solid. Center is solid. Right guard is solid. And their right tackle, he's out, but their backup is solid too. So it's going to be an interesting day for our defensive line. We're known for bringing the pass rush. Hopefully we can be able to get after this quarterback. Then on defense, you have Will Grant, Ryan Coleman. The D tackles are beastly. You got Moore and Manning up the middle. At linebacker, Marcus Thomas, he might be the weakest linebacker that they have. No, that's not true. Robert Hughes up the middle. They are not strong at linebacker. 275 overall linebackers. Then you have Pat Williams on the outside. And at corner, this should be fun. Ishmael Beard is solid. Joe Daniels is solid. Paul Johnson is solid. And Kyle Carter are solid corners. I still like our chances against these guys, and they have length too. The top 3 are over 6'1". At free safety, Eric Summers, he's a beast. And then you have Justin Chase, the freshman, who's an 80 overall. Now, this team is good on paper, man. Injuries have really slowed them down. So hopefully we'll be able to take advantage of their run game not being there. We got to keep the quarterback contained in the pocket, make sure he doesn't break out. And it looks like Herbie is rolling with Grambling State to finish the regular season undefeated. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button and subscribe if you're brand new. And don't forget to ring that bell. Join the Noti Squad. Hit those links down in my description. Follow your boy on Facebook, Twitter, and IG at Big C Gat Game. And make sure you come back and join us down in the hole for Senior Day against Alabama. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day. 2 fingers in the air. Peace. Talk to y'all later.